Hey, so I guess you can say I'm a newbie when it comes to romance animes. I'm a big into shonen and action animes, even sci-fi ones, but I never really gave romance a chance. Well, besides romantic comedies such as, Love as Well, which is P. But besides that, I haven't really explored the romantic genre. Now, of course, there were some romantic scenes in animes I watched, but it wasn't like classified in a genre. So I decided out of all the romance animes, I don't know why I chose this one, but I didn't watch the popular ones, I guess. But this caught my eye, and now let's talk about the romance anime that got weird. Let's talk about Horimiya. Horimiya? Horimiya. Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay, so I don't know why this caught my interest, but I was surfing around Hulu and the poster for Horimiya popped up, and I guess maybe my trait of trying new things came up, and I decided to give this one a try. Now, I guess the colors stood out to me. The aesthetic of the poster is really nice. I always say, different colors. Remember like the Brady Bunch thing, but different, colorful and the characters in the show. It was a nice touch. But I was like, let me go and try a cool 12-episode anime about love in high school, and oh boy, did this show get kind of confusing. Okay, so now the plot itself is kind of normal. Hori, who is the main character, meets the protagonist Izumi Miyamura at the school, and they get to know each other and eventually blossom a relationship. Now that's simple, sounds like a realistic high school setting with some realistic emotions and feelings. Then you have the main friend group, or at least in the beginning, which was Hori, Izumi, Yuki, and then Toru. And then you have the president council group, which consisted of Kakaru, I'm probably saying that wrong, but Remy, Sakura, and others, but those are the main recurring ones. So the characters are interesting in a way that I have my problems with and things that I like about them. But I'll get there in a minute. See, now this video, I'm not going to avoid spoilers. I'm going to talk about them, so if you haven't seen the show, you should come back and watch, or not. I don't blame you, honestly. But yeah, so the first half of the series was honestly good, getting to know the main love interest and learning more about the characters and all that great stuff. You see, Hori is the popular, quirky, sweet, kind of malicious girl, and Izumi was a quiet, antisocial, emo-like boy. And so after school, I guess he would transform into like a goddamn rock star. I had piercings, tattoos, hair all out. It was crazy. And that caught Hori by surprise. And also another reason why they started hanging out was Mia. I'm gonna call him that because Hori calls him that a lot. So, and hence name title, Hori, Mia, the title show. Anyways, Mia started hanging out with her little brother, which they met somehow, and I guess they, hung out mostly at Hori's place. And so Mia got to know the little brother more, he hang out from time to time, because I guess like a big brother to him. And that's what also got to know more about Hori, since, that was her house and that was her brother. So they get to know each other more, and time to time he would visit their house and basically just hang out with them. And this happened the majority of the series. And eventually they will reveal their feelings for each other and become a couple around episode 6, I believe. Now, I'm going to get back to that, but let me go over the other characters real quick and do like a quick rundown. So, Yuki, happy-go-lucky, really quirky, and a great support friend. Honestly, my favorite character series, because she's honestly just like a vibe, and I enjoy her personality. But yeah, also you have Turo, who is another great supporting friend, who's cool sometimes but freaks out a lot. Then you have Shu, who comes later on in the series and is probably the most coolest and funniest character in the series, besides Yuki, of course. And then you have Sengoku, which is the last name of the president, who is secretive but also caring. Then you have Remy, literally the quirkiest girl ever could be. And you have Sakura, who is literally the shyest girl you could ever be. And then lastly, you have Sota, who is the brother of Hori and easily one of the best characters. Now, of course, there are more characters, but those are like the main important ones, at least to the plot. Now, the first half of the show is pretty good, and then I will definitely say as soon as Hori and Mia got together, the series gets weird, so try to keep up with me. I understand if you get lost, but I'm about to tell you what happened with the character towards the end of the series, and basically kind of spoiling like the show. Like I said, if you don't care, then here you are, but if you want to check it out, then I suggest you watch it and then come back to this video. Please come back. So let's begin with Hori and Mia relationship. Now, I would say Hori and Mia relationship is kind of like the typical high school one, like a popular girl, finds like this quiet boy and they interact, and yeah, so basically they get to know each other more, and then we get a little more about the characters, and I thought that was pretty nice. But I swear, as soon as I think she gets sick, right? Like I said, it's been a while since I actually watched the show. It's been like I think a few months.
So I don't feel like going back to clarify. But yeah, take my word for it. But yeah, she gets sick, and I remember Mia comforts her, and then I think that's when he says, "I love you." And then she hears that, and I thought she was going crazy at first because, out of nowhere, he says that. And then that's when she says later on that she loves him too. And then I'm not sure if they kiss yet, but I know that they get each other. So they start dating, and I swear it felt like the same actually, so, they're like, a little more lovey-dovey now. But like the relationship kind of seemed like the same until this one episode. I think it was 2 episodes after they started dating, and I think this is where Hori is like a little weird to me a little bit, because she wanted Miyamura to be more dominant in the relationship. Yes, dominant in a relationship, and I guess some girls feel that way. Like some girls in my high school felt that way too, of course. So I understood it a little bit. Okay, I didn't really understand it, but I basically wasn't surprised that she said that. So the way he decides to get dominant to try to keep the relationship with her is like he legitimately hit her in one of the episodes, like called her a whore and I want to get demonetized with the B word and started cursing her out. And I swear, he slapped her in front of like his old friends like that to make sure that he's dominant. I was like, what? What was that? He legit hit her and she got aroused by some. What the was that, bro? And I swear, the next episode they just carry on like nothing happened, bro. Like what? That shit was so weird, bro. Like it just happened like I don't know. I was like, okay. What the was that episode, bro? So yeah, yeah, and I think that's why I was like, okay, this anime is getting a little weird, honestly. So, but that's not the only thing, right? So after they started dating, right, the main 2 characters, they decided to go flourish more characters relationships, such as the next one I'm talking about is Yuki and Toru. Keep in mind, I meant to say at the beginning that Toru also had a crush on Hori before Miyamura and Hori started liking each other. So he asked her out too in the beginning of the season and got rejected. I was like, damn, that's actually crazy. But ironically, Toru decides to become friends with Miyamura because of the rejection, and they had a nice friendship. I like the friendship, I ain't gonna lie. Yuki was also like Hori's best friend, so they would all hang out in the circle, the 4 of them, like I said, the main friend group. But yeah, and keep in mind, Yuki is like this happy-go-lucky. Like, I like how they did this in the episode too, like how it showed how Hori started like drift away from Yuki, and she kind of like alone now. I felt bad for her. I was like, damn, my girl Yuki, man, I want her to be happy. So she started clinging towards Toru, who was kind of like already dealing with a crush. Well, I'm gonna get into later on. And so basically, Yuki and Toru start developing a weird relationship. Now, okay, that's what I mean weird. Like, so I guess you could say became platonic, but like Yuki was confused about her feelings with Toru, right? And then Toru was like, oh, I'm just minding my own business type of guy. He's a cool guy. And then so I guess he misread the signal and wanted to keep like a great friendship with her, but Yuki wanted something more than that. I think she wanted to be comforted by him, and he did that in a way, but not like a boyfriend way, if that makes sense. And so I'm thinking, they're gonna start dating because she likes him, and Toru, pretty much adores her too. But they didn't. They didn't even date, because like she would go over to his house and like just play video games and just vibe. And I'm like, oh, okay. Are they gonna like talk about their feelings or something like that? Which they did in one of the episodes. Like I remember they was on top of the school and they was talking about their feelings. But the way they talked about it was like they kept beating around the bush, like using analogies and stuff like just say it. Say y'all just want to be friends. Y'all just have a great friendship. Like why y'all not saying that? Y'all like saying all these extra stuff, bro. And I'm like, and it just ends right there. Like I guess they're friends now. I guess they're not gonna date. I don't know, because they didn't really clarify like that. I mean, I'm just dumb. I don't know, but like for them to use like those like references and like analogies, like the show. They're not even smart characters. I'm be honest, they kind of dumb. And then so why would they just go from like being dumb to like being smart all of a sudden and they use the analogies and stuff like Jesus. But okay, that's just one relationship. That's 2. But you remember I mentioned Toru and a crush earlier? Yeah, so that other crush was Sakura, I swear to God, her whole point of the character was to be a shy girl, right? And she developed a crush on Toru because of course, right, he's getting all the girls, and then just for him to reject her. And then she would, oh my God, bro. It's funny because before she asked him out or tell him that she had a crush on him, she was freaking out every time he saw him in the hallways. And like even her friend Remy saw her, like she was like just acting weird, going home early from like class council meeting. I mean, I get it, you're shy, and it does take like a lot of nerve to talk to them. But okay, so I get it. You know what? I understand that. But then when you finally tell him your feelings, and then he rejects you, and then I swear she like a light bulb just went off, and she just got all of a sudden happy and like talking about, I think maybe I just need to tell you my feelings, then I feel better. I mean, I guess, but like, what was the point in that? Like, at least say that you find. I don't know. I don't know. It just left. It was weird to me. Like, you're all of a sudden happy that you got rejected. Like, you wasn't even sad at first. Like, I understand you were sad at first, then you got happy, and then your friends comfort you. But like, no, she was just like, oh, I feel better now because I told her my feelings. Maybe I'm just overlooking this. Maybe it's because that's not how it went from like high school, at least for me and my friends. But yeah, he was all heartbroken after we got rejected or something like that. Or that would be like the ideal situation. But for this one, it was just like, oh, I'm better now. Bye. Like, anyways, another like weird thing I have about this later half is actually kind of like the beginning of the show as well too, was Remy as a character. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate Remy, but she was confusing at first because like in the beginning of the series, I remember, I think one of the earlier scenes that she was talking to Hori and then basically trying to like, I guess she was trying to get her to date Miyamura. But then, like, the way she said it and, like, did it, it was like, oh, if you're not gonna date him, can I date him? Like, what? And you didn't even like him. You didn't even like him, but you trying, I think, get under her skin, which it worked, because she got mad at you, and then you just laughed it off, and then became friends with her later on. Like, what? I thought you was like a mean girl or something. I swear, when I saw she did that, I thought, okay, she's gonna be like mean girl in the series, because we need actually like a mean girl, like at least antagonistic person in the series. No, she became later on like friends with the group, and became the peers and said hey to them, like when she see them in the hallways, and we'll have conversation with them. But it's like, what's the point in trying to like make it seem like a bad character? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the point in that? And then like later on, she, like I said, developed a relationship with the president, and they went to their backstory of how, like, she liked him since the beginning, because some reason, I guess, because he was like caring, because the president was caring for others, especially towards Remy, and then, he also was secretive, so I think she liked that about him. But it's just the way they introduced her was like weird. But later on, I did like her, like in the series, but like just the way she started out was like weird. But she did get annoying like a lot of times, like she just like talks so loud and like just like so bubbly. Yeah, that makes sense. Her personality is so bubbly, and it's like, Jesus, you need to calm down. But yeah, so that's another one. Also Yuki, and okay, I meant to say this too. So I remember I said Yuki was like, a relationship with Toru, or like trying to get one. I still don't know about that, but so someone had a crush on her, and I remember we got introduced by the character named Akane. I'm probably saying so wrong, but they represented him as like this gorgeous human being in the whole show, and it was like, how did he have a crush on Yuki, someone like her, which is kind of like green, and I think about it like, damn. And basically Yuki didn't like him back because, well, she liked Toru, and so that's why she rejected him, but he was cool with it. See, that's how Sakura, I remember this too, that's how Sakura should. Yuki came back to him and like try to like have like a friendship or something like that, or tell her her true feelings, or I don't know, I forgot. I know they became friends though. Came back in the friend group because we got to know more about him, and then he was actually a cool character too. So yeah. And that's like another relationship, and I think that's pretty much the main problems I have with this show. Like, it gets so weird, and it's like, what am I watching now? Because like compared to the first 6 episodes, it flowed perfectly. I ain't gonna lie, it was like we get to know more of the characters, and it was actually cool vibe to watch. And then later on, this got weird. But however, they did like redeem themselves a little by going to like or leaving the relationship with Hori and Miya, because that was getting weirder and weirder. That's when we got to learn about Yuki character, like I said, favorite character in the show. We learned about her sister and her family and why she's act like this. It was actually kind of deep. I ain't gonna lie, I like that part. But then like they had to like kind of like mess it up a little with the Toru thing, and it's like, bro. So yeah, that's kind of like. Oh, also one last thing, I watched the show in dub, so to me the voice sounded a little weird, like the freak out moment, like, why does it sound like this? But I didn't care to switch to go to sub. But so I guess that's my problem or my fault for that one. But like, it just sounded a little weird with the dub voices. I don't know. But it was overall cool for like, the whole show in general. But at first, like I said, it gets weird. Like, it's not like unwatchable, and maybe to you, but I thought it was overall good. But also, I do want to say that just because I have problems with the show doesn't mean you'd have to watch it. I'm pretty sure, and I think actually a large amount of people who watch the show really enjoyed it. It's like one of their favorite rom-coms or romance animes out there, and it has a solid fan base that makes shippers and like makes fan art and how's go. And they ride for the show. They ride or die for the show. I ain't gonna lie. So
if I anger you to this video, I'm sorry, and just know it's my opinion. But like I said, I still think the show is good, but I still thought it got weird in like a lot of places. But yeah, that's just my thoughts, and I appreciate y'all out there love it, but it's just my thoughts. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So yeah. But with that being said, that's kind of it for this video, man. Like I said, if you want to watch it, go ahead. It's on Hulu, and then Horimiya, that's the name of the show. And then yeah, and let me know what you think down below in the comments, or how you feel about the show in general, or the characters, or like the plot, or just anything about the show. Go ahead and tell me down below in the comments. But that being said, I got some videos on the way. Stay tuned for that. I got more big videos. And yeah, I love y'all. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you in this video. Oh, bye. Oh.